again, at that time perhaps, he may have concluded based on his limited human fallible nature in the sciences that there is no complete evidence. But now, alhamdulillah, we do. Yeah, I was giving you that. I asked them if they have any questions or comments, and so far they have not came up with any question or comment. If the sisters who are sitting behind there, if you want to write down your questions, feel free to, inshallah. Brother Samir, go ahead.
I had two questions, but the one I wanted to ask you was what Quran ayat and hadith you use to the atheists that you like to use. That's the one I want to know. And then the other one that I wanted to ask in response to whatever else, scientists or evolutionists, they use a term called speciation nowadays, and then they probably use that to counter. For example, you made a horse with a donkey to make, I don't know, something. I forgot what that was. Right. So how do you, how would you respond to that?
Fine. So the very first question was, I have used a certain words to prove. Was it the Big Bang words which I used? I mean, I've used many of them. Okay.
Specifically, the ones that you like to use to show the existence.
Okay, fine. So there are many. I mean, I could give you many verses about the scientific facts in the Quran itself, right? So one of the ones which I mentioned about the Big Bang is in Surah Anbiya, Surah number 21, ayah number 30. That kind of points towards the primordial mass, and it was Allah who, caused the big explosion, and from there everything was formed. There are many other verses like Surah Anbiya, 2 verses from that one. It says that it is Allah who has created the heavens and the earth and all the celestial objects. They are both rotating and revolving. Right? So that again we could use. You could use from Surah number 23, ayah number 12, 13 and 14. That speaks about embryology. How a fetus, the baby in the womb of a mother, how it goes from stage to stage to stage. And the modern embryologists, they have confirmed that knowledge was not there before the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or not to that precise nature. And it has to be coming from a divine knowledge. Dr. Keith Moore, Dr. Marshall Johnson, and Dr. Maurice Bukai, and many other such such scholars of the past. So there are many such scientific verses that we could quote. We should know it, we should memorize it, and we should present those, inshallah. About taking one species and crossing with other species again. Intelligent human beings are involved to do that again, right? So intelligence still is involved. It's not nature, by the way. Intelligence is involved to do that experiment and to produce. So again, intelligence is involved. It's not just random nature which is coming into play.
No, I was going to say, when we deal with the question of existence of God and science, isn't it better to approach this by saying, science primarily deals with empirical reality, and God is not an empirical reality. So it's not a question of science, but more a question of philosophy. If something cannot be tested in the lab, I would say what science says about it. It's not science supposed to.
Right, so Brother Irfan is saying that, theology, spirituality, morality doesn't deal, science doesn't deal with those topics. So, it cannot be tested in the lab. But however, they would like to know that how can we prove the existence of God using our fallible knowledge? We just cannot tell them, okay, fine, you have your evidences for the non-existence of God or just nature creating everything, but your belief is just a blind belief. If you don't agree with the observational research, why should we believe in your belief? But us as human beings, as Muslims, as propagators of Islam, we can use our own science. Because alhamdulillah, there is enough facts in their sciences that we could use to point towards a higher power. Like the 500 plus scientific facts which are there. We could ask them this question. Where do you think the knowledge of embryology, the knowledge of physics, the knowledge of chemistry, the knowledge of plate tectonics, the knowledge of all the sciences, who placed that knowledge inside the Quran? Some people may say that that knowledge, it came from the Greek, the Romans, and the Egyptians, and the Indians, and the Chinese, right? They may give that argument. They may say that those scientists before the Quran, they already made these statements in their books. When they make this statement, they are true. You will be shocked that before the Quran, some of the statements were already made by the previous scientists. So how can we refute this argument of those that they say that the Quran may have extracted from the previous books? Anyone of you heard that argument? You did, right? Okay, fine. Now the way to refute that argument is, yes, the previous books, they do have scientific facts before the Quran. Now, besides the scientific facts which we know that we could verify in our day and age, along with the scientific facts in their books, there are also scientific errors. Very important. Scientific facts and scientific errors. How did Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, how did he knew that only to extract the true scientific facts from their book and insert it here and leave all the false information, incorrect information? There was no knowledge with the Prophet to do that. There was no microscope, telescope, MRI machines or anything of that nature. How did he knew what is wrong and what is right in the 7th century and extract only what is correct and place it here? Divine knowledge again. An analogy sometimes I use would be, suppose if you have two students, one of them is a B student, B as in boy, and second one is a D student, D as in David. The B student was taking the test and next to him was sitting the D student. Now the D student is copying every single answer from the B student. At the end of the exam, the B student gets 80% score. What do you think the D student's score would be? 80 at least, right? 80, because he copied every single answer from there. Because not only he's copying the right answers, he's blindly also copying the wrong answers. If they make the allegation that, Na'udhu the Prophet copied from either the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Greeks, the Romans, the Chinese, if he blindly copied, he would have copied the correct facts, he would have copied the incorrect facts. So the Quran would have had correct information and incorrect information. So how come the Quran does not have incorrect information? Alhamdulillah, we could use that logic to refute that argument of theirs.
One of the questions is that these people use statistics a lot, especially in astronomy. They say in Milky Way there are billions and billions of stars. So the statistical possibility that you would find an Earth-like object, which is the same distance from the sun and may have the same environment, you may be able to find a few thousand of them. And then there's something about multiverse. So they're saying, that outside this universe there are other universes, and there's just an immense possibility of finding something like that. So, and obviously the same argument goes for Earth has been around 4.5 billion years since life activity has been on it. So, how do you tackle that question?
So Dr. Obais is asking one more very important question. That the scientists, right, astronomers, they would say that there could be other universes out there, multiverse, universes out there. But that is just a theory, by the way. There is no scientific concrete evidence for that. There is no evidence. I mean, I could say that fine, there is a God up there, or the earth was supported by, like the Hindus say, by the cow, or there are other planets out there or other things out there. But if you have not proven that, we don't have scientific knowledge about it, it's just a theory.
Well, the string theory has been proven, I think, right, it's mathematically. But that's at least something they can tell you. then we need to have an answer for it.
What is the, statistically speaking, what are the chances of having this kind of Earth in existence?
Okay,
Keeping
fine.
in mind all the factors that help bring it into existence.
Sure. So far, according to the scientific knowledge as of today, I would say, they have not found a single planet where we as human beings could exist on. Okay. They have found something close to it. We could always say, or they could always say, yes, it's a possibility, down the line, many centuries from now, they will discover. If they discover it, it's okay, it's fine. It's not going to contradict the Quran, by the way. It's not going to contradict the Quran. And all of the theories about the static, the static state of the universe theory, the string theory, the theory about, the universe expansion and collapse and expansion and collapse. All of those theories, they don't have concrete scientific backing to it. That may have it on the paper, by the way. And I'll just give you one example. Einstein, according to them, is the biggest physicist of all time. In 1939, before he passed away in 1945, he used to believe that the universe is static. By his experimentation, by his mathematics and all of that. But in the year 1942, around that time, he said that his theory or his statement that the universe was static was the biggest mistake of his life. Einstein is saying that because now he has more evidence that the universe is expanding. Right? So all the theories which are out there, none of them has as much backing as the Big Bang, model of the universe and about the expansion of the universe. Just 2 years ago, two physicists, they won the Nobel Prize in Physics because they have provided more evidence for the expansion of the universe. And the Quran also confirms, by the way. Surah 51, verse number 47, about the expansion of the universe. So, yes, there are theories which are out there, but this is the most common, mainstream way that the universe began. It had a beginning, and anything that begins to exist has to have a beginner to it. You're saying that only 2 more questions? Looks like, yeah. Yes, brother, go ahead.
What's the blind watchmaker?
Oh, the blind, okay. So Richard Dawkins, he wrote a book called, this is the name of the book, by the way, The Blind Watchmaker. That is his book, in which he gives the arguments against the existence of God. And alhamdulillah, all of those arguments, our scientists, they have refuted those, yes.
How would you address an atheist who is not really from a scientific background? Let's say they're like a business major or lawyer, and they're atheists not necessarily in the sense that they're going to provide strong scientific facts or something, but they more view religion as some sort of man-made institution designed to, keep laws. Like they don't see the purpose of it other than that it establishes a moral code, and that's like they view it, it's like just a moral code, and then they'll give you more like philosophical arguments and whatnot. So how do you address them, and maybe to promote like existence of Allah in that or something?
Okay, so the brother has a very good question. Not every person would like to dwell into science. They may not have enough scientific knowledge to absorb or to be receptive to our arguments from biology and physics and biochemistry. So how to deal with those individuals? We could give them analogies like I have mentioned before. Suppose if you see a building from this window, we don't have to see the builder to know that somebody made that building. Number 2, we could always use the Quranic argument that fine, we have this book that we Muslims say that this is from God, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You tell us all the possible sources of the book. Some of them may say that it is being copied or extracted from the Old and the New Testament. Some of them may say the Greek and the Romans. Some of them may say the Arabs came together to write it. Some others may say, Satan was the hand behind it. So we take each one of their arguments and keep on knocking them down using history, reason, logic, anything which is out there, until we leave with only one possible source for the Quran, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are many, many ways that we could deal with them. People who are intellectuals, if they are into science, professors or so, deal with their own science and prove to them points towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People who are common, people who don't have that much education, use common analogies and examples, the daily examples that you give. Again, along with that, it's very important to provide evidence for the Quran to be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In my experience, I have seen that has worked. Alhamdulillah. Right, alhamdulillah, so which is wonderful. So I would just like to conclude by saying that alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the best deen, the best way of life. As I mentioned yesterday, people run after Apple, the iPod, the iPhones, long line which is out there. We have the best product, if I would call it as a product, the best ideology, the best guidance. We are the ambassadors of that. We are the salespeople of that product, sharers of the product. Alhamdulillah, we have to equip ourselves. We have to have knowledge. We have to learn how to deal with that. So inshallah, if we do that, we will find out that people will be receptive to it. Their misconceptions are going to be erased. And inshallah, we will fulfill our obligation of becoming witnesses unto mankind. Dawah is very easy. Every day, every opportunity, every interaction could be made into a Dawah interaction. Join the Dawah committee. Brother Samir and other brothers who are sisters who are there, join a Dawah committee. We from Chicago, inshallah, we are going to help you as much as possible. By coming over here, you coming over there, by supplying you the material, by helping you with the logistics of running a Dawah committee and doing the Dawah projects. Because we are all into this together. So, committing 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week, by becoming writers, by helping out with website design, by passing the brochures, by sisters staying home and doing dawah from the home, every single person, whether it be young, old, male, female, rich, poor, every single person could contribute to this very important obligation. So please get involved. Please get involved and make sure that we as Muslims, inshallah, when we are upholding Islam by our person, by our good words, inshallah, we could create an environment in which our youth, our progeny in the future, they could look back to us and say that wonderful Muslims, our ancestors, alhamdulillah, based on the limited knowledge, limited resources and the challenges, alhamdulillah, they were able to establish a society in which peace and justice prevail. And alhamdulillah, now today, we are able to practice the wonderful faith of Islam. And inshallah, the best reward that you and me will get would be on the day of judgment. Inshallah, Jannat al-Firdaus. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He make it easy for us. So all of us together to learn our deen together, inshallah. And that we could start to implement the deen in our lives. And very important that we take this deen and becoming witnesses over mankind. Jazakallahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.